Good evening, happy Friday Eve, and welcome back to another edition of the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 426. Oh, the Rasheen Ali, Maurice Kennedy, Priest Holmes, DeJuan Landry, Gerard Powers, Geno Stone, and Rod Woodson edition of the Purple Rain Podcast. Thank you for spending your Thursday evening here with us at the Purple Rain Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. This guy on Instagram or on X at Sutton Def. Me, Instagram, simply as10.prod, X, simply as10. And yeah, if you have not already, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you are new and want to talk in that wonderful chat box you see over to your right, I believe. And if you're part of the Replay Gang, let us know down below, hashtag Replay Gang. Any questions, comments, concerns, we read them. Good, better, and different. We'll read them and respond. So yeah, thank you for coming through and spending your evening here with us. Team Raimi here says, let's get it like Zion Young. Banana One Banana checking in from across the pond per usual. Thank you, Void. Salute to you. King Blaze and yo to you. Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. Friday is tomorrow. The weekend is almost here.
Yeah.
I'll be at the Orioles game tomorrow night. I cannot wait. I don't know about you.
Weekend's are they still on that win? Are they still in the win streak?
No, they're not.
Oh,
they're not.
Man.
But they did break the Red Sox, I think, 15-game win streak. Crazy win streak the Red Sox had going. Orioles broke it. So you know what? I'm leaving here with something. I love that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. By the way, it's like actively storming where I'm at right now. So if you hear thunder in the background, that's what it is. It's thunder. I'm gonna try to mute my mic as much as possible so we don't get that in the show. But just so you know, that's there. Anyways, like my guy Alex said, welcome into another episode of the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 426 of the show. And guess what? This is the very last show, Alex, before the season officially opens for the Ravens. Training camp starts tomorrow. Rookies report tomorrow. Quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson reports to the castle tomorrow. And then some of the veterans, some of the guys who are banged up, they also report. So we have made it, Alex. It's come full circle, this offseason has. And, you know, again, I know I say this like every episode. I've been saying it, especially the last few episodes. Thank you to all the supporters out there, you know, who've been watching our content throughout the offseason. We know how hard it is for you guys to get through a whole offseason without any football, watching Ravens content, just as much as we know how hard it is to deliver it to you at times for that very same reason. But kicking us off here, man, we got Void. Making it absolutely rain, making it absolutely thunderstorm here. Clap it up for Void, gifting 5 Purple Rain Podcast memberships in the chat, and those are going to as follows. I mean, they're going to pour in here. Void, Santa Claus in it early here on this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast, man. Thank you so much, Void. We appreciate that, brother. Longtime supporter of the channel. Yeah, so if you did get one of those memberships from Void, make sure you give them a thank you in the chat, right? Because with the memberships, you get access to exclusive content, you get to call into the show, and you're automatically entered into our giveaway contest as well. So those of you guys who just got one of those memberships, shout out to you, and make sure you stay tuned to PRP so you can cash in on some of those benefits from the membership. Okay, so, and like my guy Alex said again, don't forget to join the Rain Gang, like the video, sub, all that good stuff. But Alex, we got to get into some of these camp battles. We talked about it, like how camp is basically here. It starts tomorrow, but officially really kicks off like next Tuesday, right? We got to talk about certain storylines going into camp and which battles are going to mean the most, which guys may not even make this roster, right? And I want to start in a very controversial place. I want to start with the wide receivers. And I want to ask you, first and foremost, Alex, do you think that there is a clear wide receiver 3 as of right now on this roster?
Clear? Ooh.
Yeah, because I do.
I think it's Tez Walker's to lose. But let's be real. I mean, if Jacoby or Elijah shows out, that could be snaps taken away. They'll start 4 and 5, but I think it's Tez's to lose for sure. I mean, he has to have a very bad camp. We're talking drop passes. We're talking can't get open, lockdown. It has to be a bad camp for Tez Walker, I think, to lose that spot. But when you have guys like Jacoby and Elijah drafted, in the 3rd and 4th rounds, and we've seen multiple guys get developed at that round when they're picked, gotta look over your shoulder, Tez. look over your shoulder and be like, I was drafted in that same spot. I was a 3rd-round pick. I have a guy hungry as well, Jacoby Lane, Elijah Surratt, hungry, coming off a national championship. Iron sharpens iron, but as for a clear, I can't go all the way yet. I can't. What it says have 6 catches, I think, last year. You're gonna
Yeah.
throw a guy who had 6 catches in for a starting spot. I think the rookies are gonna have a chance, and they have to have a very good camp to beat them. But I can't go clear wide receiver 3 yet.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely can. I have to disagree with you there, Alex. I think that this wide receiver 3 spot is clearly and securely Tez Walker's, and for a couple of reasons. Number one, he is the elder statesman in the room in terms of that tier of receivers underneath Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, right? He's been here for a minute. Number two, you mentioned he didn't have that many receptions last year, but pretty much every time he was touching the ball, he was making a big impact on the game, right? So I think that, and then I went back and watched some Tez Walker film earlier today, and this is why like it really got me hyped for Tez. He is, and a lot of people don't realize this, Devontae Walker is the fastest player on the Ravens offense, bar none. He's actually, like, by metrics, 40-yard dash, faster than anybody else on the Ravens offense right now. And you can see that in the type of routes that he runs. A lot of times you just had Tez Walker, they just asked him to run straight. It was maybe a post, it was maybe, something straight up the seam or some crossers, but just tell him to run straight, go catch the ball. He has good hands. If he can do that and be put in those positions, it's going to be touchdown galore for Tez Walker. And I'm thinking, and I know I say this a lot, but when the Ravens go ahead and get into their 11 personnel and they throw three wide receivers on the field, I need it to be primarily, at least starting off, until proven otherwise, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and Tez Walker. Because Tez Walker can be your legitimate deep threat. If you just ask him to run straight and you have a safety whose responsibility is to maybe shadow Zay Flowers or another DB to maybe bracket him in coverage and things like that. No, we got to make sure we take care of Mark Andrews as well. The linebackers assigned to him. Who's really going to be looking for or checking for Devontae Walker? Some poor free safety on the back end who got caught slipping, and now Lamar Jackson's going deep because he actually had time to throw this season. I mean, I just think that Tez Walker, put in the right scenario, in the right scheme, and I think that guys like Declan Doyle and Jesse Minter are looking at a guy like Tez and saying, we can get a lot more out of this guy. We can get a lot out of him. We have options, depth, just in case. It's kind of like crack this glass if you need it. Jacoby Lane, Elijah Surratt, we drafted those young guys. We're going to see if they can do anything if need be. But the Ravens, I fully believe, have a receiving core right now that is capable, with Lamar Jackson, of being one of the top passing games in the league. I truly do believe that, Alex. And one more thing before I toss it back to you. Main reason I do believe that is because the Ravens had that in 2019 when Lamar Jackson had not even half the talent that we have right now at wide receiver. Does that make any sense?
I can't agree with top passing. I still think I have to add somebody else for that. I think we're relying too much on young guys, and maybe that's the way EDC wants it. But you're putting a lot of faith in a guy who had 6 catches last year. And when he had the deep balls against the Bengals, it went right through the breadbasket. And I want Tez Walker to be good, but I think I'm going to have to pump my brakes because I've done this with so many receivers before. And maybe it's me to speak on experience. I think about the long list of guys who I thought, oh man, mid-round pick, they look great in training camp. The season starts, and it's a dud. I mean, James Prochet, Devin Duvernay. I mean, receiving-wise, Duvernay gave you something, but not what we expected. Prochet gave us basically nothing except interception and the triple coverage. Like I said, you can keep going down the list. Guys, I can go back. Aaron Millette gave me nothing. Guys, I'm going back that far. So I'm going to pump my brakes with Tez. I mean, he had, 3 touchdowns last year? 2 in the game against the Browns. Like, red zone target, I think he'll be there. He can get open. But I just can't throw.
No, but he can stretch the field too, Alex. That's my point. He's fast enough. Yeah, we did. We saw that. I mean, against the Steelers.
6 catches?
6 catches. Okay, but he wasn't a focal point of the offense. Let me ask you something. Do you remember back in week 2 of the preseason, and granted preseason, last year, 2025, Ravens versus Cowboys, Cooper Rush starting. Tez Walker, in the first half of that game, because he only played the first half. In the first half of that game, Tez Walker had 6 catches for 61 yards. Averaged 10 yards a catch, no touchdowns, but 6 catches on 8 targets. You know what that showed me? That showed me that when his name is called upon, when he's entrusted to be the number one guy, he can do it. Like I'm just saying, like if he is, and I feel kind of like a similar way about Rashad Bateman. If somebody just gives these guys the opportunities, again, if these guys go anywhere else, if they go anywhere else that needs a wide receiver, they'll do work. They'll make magic. I'm just saying, Alex, like Tez Walker has a lot to prove still. And again, being a contract year, he's got a lot to prove this year. Not only does he have that chip on his shoulder with Jacoby Lane and Elijah Surratt nipping at his heels, but he's also he's staring down being jobless or potentially not being a Raven anymore if he does not perform this year. So I think he takes full advantage of all the opportunities. I can't wait to see him in preseason. And I definitely think that he is a solid, he's locked in at wide receiver 3 for me right now. He has to be.
So it's not a contract year. Next year will be one. It's year
next
3
year.
Right
okay.
Now.
Apologies.
Year.
Yeah.
I just can't, like I said, preseason is cool. We saw James Prochet and lost somebody in preseason. I've got to pump the brakes because how many times have you had an egg on your face? I know I have multiple times with guys. So it's good. We saw it last year, man. He had 6 catches. Like, he's gonna have a bigger role. Week 2, 2 touchdowns. Like, this is the Tez Walker year. And then obviously the offense wasn't what we thought it was. He had that nice catch against the Lions down the seam, and then he went ghost until the last game of the year, I'm pretty sure. I think he had 1 catch against the Jets, and he had the touchdown against the Steelers. I'm hoping Declan uses some more, but until we see it in the game, I'm gonna have to pump it. But he is my receiver 3 not right now, but I just don't think it's a clear lock, unless he has a really, really bad training camp, which I don't think he'll have. I think he'll show out. I have no doubt about that. So coming, the first game, it'll definitely be Zay, Bate, and Tez. But what if Jacoby goes crazy? What if Elijah Surratt, contested catch over the middle, 1-on-1s, chain mover?
That's a good point.
But it's a good problem to have right now. It's a good problem.
It is.
About this.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think at the end of the day, it is a very good problem to have that depth, at the wide receiver. That the fact that we have confidence in most of these guys. The only reason why I put Tez on a pedestal slightly above Jacoby Lane and Elijah Surratt was because we've seen Tez do this at the NFL level, right? We just haven't seen him get the volume yet. Jacoby Lane and Elijah Surratt, they are sight unseen still. So until, maybe even a preseason game would impress me. That's why is probably most my training camp / preseason most intriguing watch for me. And there's a poll in the chat right now, is going to be probably Jacoby Lane. Because if he can separate himself as a 3rd round pick, and you know how much the Ravens value their 3rd round picks, if he can separate himself as somebody who's actually going to be like an impact player on this offense, then I'd be willing to move off my Tez take. But until then, I can't say it for sure, but I do know for sure what Tez is capable of on the NFL level. That's all I'm saying. So it'll be a camp battle to definitely look out for, even preseason as well. That wide receiver 3 spot is up for grabs, but I think that Tez Walker is going to come down with it. I do. All right, but let's move on, Alex. Let's move on. So who do you think earns the most snaps opposite Trey Hendrickson this season? What edge guy?
So right now, ESPN has Tavius Robinson starting alongside Trey Hendrickson, which is very interesting to me because we've seen Tavius, be productive at points, but he's never been that 3 games in a row with a sack, 4 games in a row. He'll have a sack here and there. He'll have a tackle for loss. He'll set the edge. I think it's got to be Mike Green. It has to be, right? I think everything we've heard from him, I think the way he's kind of bet on himself, and I'm going to kind of throw some, weight on his shoulders. He told us he was being used wrong last year.
Yeah.
I want to see why. Show us, how they should use you and how you can become, hopefully, a double-digit sack edge rusher. Hopefully. I'm not expecting double digits this year, but I'm expecting above 6.5, maybe get me to 7. I think it has to be Mike Green. I think we've seen him looks a lot better in the offseason. I just watched The Wired. We'll get into that. I think he looked leaner. I don't think he looked as big, but put on a little bit of muscle. He lost the weight in the right areas and put it in the right areas, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's the first round talent that we have from last year. And a guy in Trey Hendrickson who was, a year removed from a 17.5 sack season, who, after the show last week, me and you just kind of, took a look at the lines for some Ravens players. The line for Trey Hendrickson sacks, I believe, is 11.5 or 12.5. and we started talking. When was the last time a Ravens edge rusher was expected to get double-digit sacks? And you'll probably have to go all the way back to
Yeah.
pre-COVID.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, well, we're talking Judon probably, right?
And before that, either Suggs or Doomerville, and
Yeah.
we're talking like 15, 16, not even 17, 18, 19. So I think it's going to be Mike Green, but he has some competition. Obviously, I think he's the lead. But Tavis Robinson, we know he can do it at the NFL level. And then I'm not saying Zion Young's going to start, but we know he'll get his snaps come later in the year. But right now, I'm going to go Mike Green. I want it to be the guy who was a top 15 pick at one point, until some off the field stuff happened. He fell to the second round, but undoubtedly a first round talent. So show me why you're the first round talent. We saw little flashes last year, but you're now with Jesse Minter, with Anthony Weaver. Time to show out. So give me Mike Green alongside Trey Hendrickson come week 1. That sounds good to me.
Yeah. I wouldn't say come week 1, Mike Green. In week 1, I would prefer a more steady diet of Tavius Robinson, and then rotating him out in and out with Mike Green. I think that Mike Green, Jesse Minter will try to ease Mike Green into being a more 3-down outside backer, as opposed to just being like a pass rush specialist, a third down guy, third and long guy, something like that. But it really just depends on how quickly Mike Green can develop his run defense. If he can shut down the run and prove to be a stalwart, like you can't run to his side. Like if he can prove that, and with his, like you mentioned it, he's put on some more weight and some more muscles in the right places and things like that. Maybe he can shed guys a little bit quicker and get to the ball carrier and bring them down, at the line of scrimmage, or maybe even behind the line of scrimmage. If he can kind of produce a couple of TFLs when people try to run to his side of the field because he rips through the line that quickly, then yeah, he'll earn more snaps as kind of like that 3-down guy. But I think right off the bat, Alex, I think you're probably going to want to go with Tavius Robinson, because I do trust him a little bit more as a run defender in this defense so far. I mean, Zion Young is another guy who, he's kind of like the joker, the wild card in this. He could end up being a guy who can do both. You can get the best of both worlds out of him. He can rush the passer. He can also shut down the run, set the edge, whatever you need him to do, right? And I think that would be the most ideal thing. But I think starting off the season, Alex, I'll go T-Rob. But by the end of the season, I think I love your prediction more. I would love to see Mike Green step up into, especially as a second-round pick, right? He'd step up into that 3-down role.
Well, then we have the big knock on Trey Hendrickson. He's more of a pass rusher, not really a run stopper. So
yeah,
that's that. So I want to see him on. I know he's deep into his career, but I want to see maybe him unlock that part of his game, because that to me I think was a big knock. A lot of Bengals fans were seeing online like, oh well, he'll get the quarterback, but when they're running it, you're down a man. And if we're paying you 100 plus million, I'm gonna hold you that same. Unless you're getting me 20 plus sacks, I need some help in the run game as well. I don't want to be 10 on 11 if they're running it. So I want to see Trey Hendrickson hopefully improving that run defense as well.
Yeah. And it's funny, I just finished up watching earlier the Jesse Minter interview on the Lounge, and he was asked about, which guys does he think are going to maybe take a big step forward this year? Like maybe it's going to be a Malachi Starks, or maybe it's going to be a Nate Wiggins. That's how the question was posed to him. And he brought up Mike Green unprovoked, right? He brought up Mike Green, and like that really stood out to me, because I think that this team is really looking at a Mike Green as somebody who could potentially really live up to, what he was coming out of college, and I believe that too. You saw flashes last year of Mike Green and what he can do, but at the same time, he just did not have like the his grown man NFL body yet. So I think that with him putting on weight, like you said, and putting on the muscle, he should have a nice bounce back year, and we should all be proven right about what we thought he was going to be. So I think we're kind of in agreement there. I just think that they should start off the season with Tavius Robinson. I think he's earned that too. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. By the way, guys, Replay Gang, we want you to comment down below what you think is going to happen with some of these camp battles, right? Who's going to emerge as the clear wide receiver 3, or hey, maybe even wide receiver 2, however you're feeling about that. Who earns the most snaps possible opposite Trey Hendrickson? That's another really good question. Make sure you answer it down below in the comment section. And other camp battles, Alex, that you might have had your eye on, that you're looking at coming into next week?
It's got to be after Marlon, Cheeto, and Nate. I'm looking at the secondary.
Okay.
'Cause I like our safeties. I mean, I love Jalen Hawkins, that signing. I keep on saying that. I feel like it's TJ Tampa's to lose, but his body's always been against him. It was the hernia coming out of the college, and he I think got banged up again. Then he comes back, and we can see like he's the defensive back you want. He's physical, he can stick you, but after that, it's a big one. It's a bunch of question marks. Like the fifth cornerback, you have guys we drafted last year. You have Chandler Rivers, who we drafted this year, and then obviously Keon Martin, who I thought played really well last year and when he was thrown in the games. So I'm looking forward to see that part of training camp and the joint practices as well, because
Yeah.
we're coming against the Vikings, so we're gonna have our freaking hands like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jawan Jennings, their top three for the joint practices.
Yeah.
That's a damn good trio.
Hands
How
are
is
gonna
our
be full.
secondary? Yeah, how are we going to match up against them? Starters and backups as well, because I doubt our starters be on them every single rep. But what younger guys are going to step up that we haven't seen?
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, Alex. What I was thinking as you were just talking about the secondary there, I'm thinking about the new secondary coach, Mike Mickens, right?
Mhm.
And I'm thinking about how, since he's coming from a college background, coaching at Notre Dame for a while, his specialty or his superpower, if you will, I think coming into the NFL and coaching up some of these professional players is going to be he's going to get them back to the basics, and I think that will actually benefit guys like Marlon Humphrey, guys like Cheeto Awuzie, giving them, extra just tools and just things that they might not have learned before. And maybe I'm thinking too deep into this. You guys know how I do with this, type of stuff, but just walk with me. I just think that he's going to be able to sharpen the iron of the other veterans who might be a little bit dull, might be a little bit rusty. We've seen that out of Cheeto Awuzie. We've seen that out of Marlon Humphrey. They've made mistakes where it's like, yo, look, these are uncharacteristics, like not even lack of athleticism, just seem like lapse of judgment, lapse of like, you weren't put in the right place, things like that. So I don't really have too many quarrels with the secondary. I think that the secondary will be fine, especially considering how good I think that this pass rush is going to be. And, the better your pass rush is, Alex, the better your secondary is as well. They kind of eat off of each other. Well, one eats off the other. The secondary eats off of the pass rush. So I told Coach the other day, I had him on a Quiet Storm. I said that I think that, you're going to have the secondary kind of sitting back in a lot of zone because Jesse Minter likes to run a lot of zone, right? They're going to be sitting back most plays watching four guys get after the quarterback, and they're just going to be like waiting and watching, just like licking their chops, waiting for a meatball sub to get thrown their way. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really have too much of a problem with the secondary.
Yeah, so I just pulled the depth chart. So after the top three, I mean, there's just a lot of talent. Amanda Rourier, who had, I think, like 7 or 8 picks a couple years ago. TJ Tampa, Chandler Rivers, Keon Martin, um, Bilal Kone, McDoom, UDFA, Ladarius Webb Jr., UDFA, and then Robert Longerbeam, who was 7th round pick or 6th round pick last year. Like, there's a good amount of draft capital that probably won't see the field in regular season play. So preseason, who's going to make it? And them dropping back. I hope the defensive backs are practicing on their hands drills, because how many did we see Nate Wiggins drop? His rookie year.
Yeah.
Marlon Humphrey, he'll catch him, but it's not very convincing. It'll be like just like right here, and he's happy he caught it.
Yep.
And Willie didn't have a pick last year, so I hope those guys are definitely on the jugs and getting those hands ready for some meatballs, some
For sure.
$5 footlongs.
Definitely some $5 footlongs coming their way. I mean, there should be a lot of them. I just feel like, especially, like I said, Alex, in the first 6 weeks of the season, I mean, we're playing Michael Penix, we're playing Daniel Jones, respect to Daniel Jones, or maybe it's Anthony Richardson. We're playing Tyler Shutt, Cam Ward, some younger guys, right? I feel like we should be able to get them to make some mistakes, and you should be able to force some turnovers. That'll kind of be the litmus test for me. Speaking of Coach, I talked him up. Here he is in the chat right here. What's going on, Coach? Appreciate you for coming through. What's going on, man? It says, sup, fellas in chat.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Sutton.
All right.
We had 11 interceptions last year.
Not enough.
At what game this year do you think we will equal that?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a great question. I got to look through the schedule really quick just to see.
Because you started naming some of these quarterbacks, and I'm like, hold up. Like, I'm seeing some, like, 2 and 3 pick games. I'm hoping. Guy could have one final drive. He throws up just a ham and cheese sandwich.
So let me run through it really quick just for the listeners here. So Alex just asked me the question. He said, we had 11 picks last season, the Ravens did. At what point this season do we think that the Ravens will surpass 11 picks, 11 interceptions, that is? So week 1, you got the Colts. Week 2, you got the Saints. Week 3, you have the Cowboys. Week 4, you have the Titans. Week 5, you have the Falcons. Week 6, you have the Browns. Week 7, you have the Bengals. 8, the Bills. 9, the Jaguars. 10, the Chargers. Scroll down here. 11, the Panthers. Texans for week 12. You know what, Alex? You know what? I'm thinking that the Ravens can get 11 interceptions, and I think they'll get their 11th interception against the LA Chargers.
Oh, okay.
Against the LA Chargers in what is that? Week, was that 7, 8, 9, 10? I think that's week 10, November 16th. I think they'll get their 11th interception on that day. Because, again, I think early on in the season, especially while a lot of these younger teams are going to be kind of finding their footing and things like that, you know, the Colts, the Saints are still kind of establishing themselves. The Titans are as well. Falcons, even the Browns. Those teams I feel like are going to give us a couple of picks. Not to mention Dak Prescott in Brazil. He might throw up a prayer to CeeDee Lamb or, you know, George Pickens, and it might end up getting arm punted, so they say. Right. So
Malachi starts waiting back there.
Exactly. I'm thinking week 10, man. What do you think, though?
Okay. I like that. It depends what Trevor Lawrence pops out this year, because I'm looking at that Ravens Jags game at home, and I know it's probably going to be either a darkness falls or a purple rising. And to me, that just gives me like a statement game on primetime against the Jags people might be talking about as a contender, and Trevor Lawrence throws like 3 picks that game. But let me be safe. Let me go through here. I mean, Colts, I think that's a good spot. I'll go one game before the Jags. I think the Jags game will equal it. I thought somebody put a good point in here. Smitty, Starks missed one in the opener. He did. Through the hand. So I'm hoping he gets on the jugs. Those guys start catching the ball, because they will have some thrown their way. I hope they can come down with them.
Yeah. Who do you think leads the team in picks this year?
You know what? I'm going to go Starks.
I like that.
I'm going to go Starks. I think we're going to see, like, if what we're saying is correct, the pressure gets to the quarterback, throws a Hail Mary, throws a lob, Starks comes down with it. Ball hawk and center fielder. And I'll go 6 picks, Malachi Starks.
6 picks?
I'll go 6 picks.
I like that. And you know what? I'll take it one step further. I think that this Ravens team going into a lot of third and fourth quarters, they'll have leads and teams will be forced to push the ball down the field right into Malachi Starks' hands, you know. So the pass rush, and then Malachi Starks and Jalen Hawkins just kind of waiting. Jalen Hawkins is another one, sneaky. He could have a couple himself, but I think Malachi Starks will be the main guy back there getting those picks. So, yeah, 6 picks for Malachi Starks. I'm not scoffing at that at all. I mean, I like that, Alex. I do.
And nobody ever talks about Jalen Hawkins, and it, like, I'm not mad about it, but he's going to be that guy, man. He'll make a play. I'm just waiting for it. And you're going to see on freaking Twitter the backlash. How did he go to the Ravens for this little? And it's like, well, everybody had a chance.
Yeah. Antonio Williams dropping in the chat says complimentary football on defense will get us more takeaways and sacks. Yeah, I'm so excited for the sacks this year. I'm looking forward to a lot of 4th and longs, right? You know, that sort of thing. Like, I think I showed the stat, I think last week on one of the shows, how Jesse Minter in LA had the lowest percentage of first downs and touchdowns scored on his defenses per drive, right? And like compared to the Ravens, where it was like they were ranked like 26th or like 27th on that list. So you insert that level of like obvious genius, because that's coaching, right? To be that consistent at that level, that's coaching. You mix that level of defensive genius with all of the talent that you have here. I mean, you have pieces everywhere. You've got all pros across the defensive line, all pro edge rushers. You got all pro safeties, linebackers. Like, it's just, man, couple more weeks, Alex, couple more weeks.
And then you pull up his stats from when he was the Chargers before he was there. I mean, they were 30th in points per game, 24th in points allowed. 2 years he's there, they go to 5th in points per game and 3rd in points allowed. Passing yards per game and then 3rd in points. They allowed 19.9 points in the 2 years.
Crazy.
At DC. So literally, it's Lamar, 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. The game's won. 3 touchdowns, the game's won.
Yeah.
And obviously, that's not how every game is played out. But if you know your
Facts.
defense is not going to give up 20 points, bro, let's have a real good first half. King Henry runs all over him. We score there. We're good. Obviously, it's not going to play like that, but us as fans, I mean, if the defense is as good as we're talking about, could be a problem for the rest of the league.
Yeah, and just kind of walk with us here again. If the defense is as advertised, which we have every reason to believe that it should, I think if it wasn't, like if this defense looked like Zach Orr levels of like just catastrophically bad, then that would be one of the more shocking things I would have ever experienced as a Ravens fan. One of the coldest takes, admittedly, I would have ever had as a Ravens fan, and I would admit that. But this defense, I think that if it is what you're saying, Alex, and on average, we're only giving up, 18 points a game, 18, 19 points a game, and you're asking Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, hey, give us 2 scores, 2 field goals, and we're good. We're out of here. That's not a tough ask for those guys. It's not. And then again, like in the second half of games, when you can actually lean on these teams, heavy dose of Derrick Henry. Oh, now we're mixing it up with Adam Randall. Bet you didn't see that one coming, did you? You just you're getting leaned on, and you go into energy conservation mode. Eventually, now Lamar Jackson comes out of the game. Lamar Jackson might not win MVP because he doesn't play a lot of fourth quarters.
Ooh, that's a hot one right there. You gotta digest, man. But that's still good. I mean, you'll be winning the games, get him out of the game, have Tyler Huntley in. Especially those first 6 games, man. We could see Lamar sitting on the bench with some sunglasses on.
Yeah, they gave us literally a foot long, a 6-inch of games, 6 games right there that are kind of like layups relative to how good this team is. Alex, I mean, that's the thing compared to last year,
and
and
the
I
year
think
before it was pretty tough.
Right. And of course, the reason why we got a softer open to our schedule was because of what happened last year. So we got to take full advantage of it. That's all I know. Got to start fast, take full advantage of this softer schedule because it does not get any easier. It doesn't get any easier. Okay. So, Alex, I think it's time for us to go ahead and move out of these camp battles. Again, guys, make sure you sound off down below in the comment section which camp battles you are looking forward to the most. We would love to hear that from you. But next, we're going to go ahead and move into some news that came out a couple of hours ago coming out of the castle. You had one of the Ravens players getting waived, right? So the Ravens have released quarterback Diego Pavia. This was reported earlier today at about 3 o'clock. UDFA, Heisman runner-up last season, has a lot of moxie with him as well. Nobody really knew what was going to come of his career, but he went undrafted. I think he was the first Heisman finalist to go undrafted in 12 years. Alex, what did you make of this news when you saw that the Ravens released Diego Pavia?
I wanted to see him in preseason at least. I'm not going to lie. I think it would have been electric. Pavia to Lane, that would have been a crazy combo, but goes to show he was the 5th best quarterback at camp. They really didn't see a reason to keep on him. Skylar Thompson, Joe Fiano, I hope I said his name right, Tyler Huntley, Lamar, obviously. So he could always come back, but I doubt they're going to carry 5. And it sucks, but I saw the UFL. They might be calling. And Void, thank you for renewing. What was it? 7 months. He said,
Nice.
calling Roquan with 4 picks. Teams won't test the secondary deep due to pass rush, so they attack the underneath. Roquan should have plenty of opportunities underneath. Henley had 2. Rowe can double that. I see it. I tell you what. In the wire last night, Roquan, he kind of moved me. I have been a big critic of his. I want him to be, what we saw he was. But, him being that leader, the pre-snap stuff calling out, that's what I want for my linebacker. But 4 picks for Roquan. Then the Pro Bowl won't be a pity Pro Bowl. It'll be like a well-deserved Pro Bowl, how all pro votes, you get four picks. But that's a good point. If they don't go deep, Roquan can sit there just like we saw that one-hander against the Dolphins 2 years ago. or 3 years ago now, 2023. Oh my gosh, snagged it over the middle from Tua.
Do we think that Roquan Smith has more interceptions than Kyle Hamilton? Because I
Oh,
don't.
I don't think so.
I
I
don't.
think Kyle will finally get the ones where like, he rushes the quarterback, like and tips it up to himself, or like
Oh,
a
I
bad
love
elbow.
those. Those are
I
my
think we'll see another one of
favorites.
them. Yeah, against the Browns in 23. I think we'll see 2 of them this year at least, and he has to get at least one in the back end. You
Yeah,
think?
I agree.
But
I agree.
back to Pavia, UFO is probably your best option, buddy. It's not a bad league. I watch it. I like it. But the humble pie has to be 8, and you have seen guys get signed from that league to rosters. So it's still football. You're still playing, but maybe not the NFL right now.
You know, I could see him. I could see him. I could see Dallas signing him to the practice squad, or you know, just throwing him on the roster, just see what he's got. He's a story. You know, Dallas loves a story, right? He could be their next what could have been Johnny Football. You know, they really wanted him. They really wanted Manziel. But you know, Diego to Dallas maybe. I don't know. But we don't need him here. You know, I'm all set with Lamar Jackson and Tyler Huntley, whoever's behind that. If we get down that far, then so help me God. You know what I mean? Like at that
Anthony
point.
Brown all over again. Man, can
Right.
we not do that?
Yeah, Frank says he'll be back in the NFL again. Yeah, I mean, I want to see at least what he's got. At
Give
least
him at
see what
least a
he's got.
couple preseason games, get some film under him, and then he can play spring ball, and then hopefully be back in the league next year. That's probably
Yeah,
the best case scenario. Play a couple preseason games, practice squad. If that doesn't work out, UFL.
yeah. Pretty much. That's those are the guy's options. That's his options right there. Afia says Browns like to collect quarterbacks. They do.
They
They collect.
do.
I tell you, they've got like 7 maybe
Tell
on
you
the
what,
roster right now.
Dylan Gabriel will be on a different team come week 1. He'll
You
definitely
think
get
so?
traded. I think he'll get traded before cuts.
Hmm. I mean, there's a possibility. I mean, because you've got Deshaun and Shador there. I think those are the 2 clear number 1 and number 2. So yeah, Dylan, they might package him up. I don't really see who would really be in the market for a Dylan Gabriel. You know, like a shorter, like a smaller. Isn't he left-handed as well?
Yep.
Left-handed quarterback. You gotta adjust your offense to that. Like I just don't see a big market for him.
Late round pick.
Yeah,
Take him. Hopefully try to develop, but because they
maybe.
do have like a bunch of quarterbacks. They've been doing that though. Say Joe last year, along with Deshaun, Shador, Gabriel, and Huntley. Like
Yeah,
they have 5 guys who have started in the NFL on their roster, which is insane to think about.
yeah. Well, I will say this though to wrap that part up. Good luck, Diego Pavia. Good luck. You know what I mean? It just I want to see the kid at least get a shot. I do. You know, I believe in second chances and all that good stuff. As long as he didn't do anything wild that I'm not privy to, I'm pretty sure he was just kind of like an asshole, right?
Yeah, he was a bit of He walked into the Heisman with his headphones in, so you can kind of imagine the kind of all about him.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. But I mean, diva quarterbacks, you don't really love that out of your quarterbacks, but you know, the kid is who he is. I still believe in second chances. So best of luck to the kid. Anywho, Anywho, let's go ahead and move on here really quick. We can cover this, Alex. So earlier today, you had Ravens' newest center, Ethan Pocic. He officially signed his contract, and he is now a Baltimore Ravens. So none of that Max Crosby. Oh, he didn't pass the physical, so now we had to axe the whole deal. Nope, Ethan Pocic, he is officially a Raven, and I project him to be the starting center. What do you think?
So I saw that um, Joe Flacco was on the Ryan Ripken show. I don't know if you saw this too. And Joe Flacco, I don't think I've been around anybody that's more kind of committed to making sure he's on top of his role more than him. Big two, he's not like your typical center. I mean, he got the Joe seal of approval, which is always a starter. Like, there is no open competition at this point. Like, it's Pocic, and you guys can battle for the backup unless Pocic, gets hurt. But I'm glad it's done.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that we don't have a shorter quarterback like a Bryce Young, like a Dylan
Facts.
Gabriel.
Then it would be a problem. It'd be an issue.
Yeah, our quarterback, you can see over him. But no, I'm happy it got done, and we'll see him out on the field, Tuesday, when he's with everybody else, so probably getting the starting reps.
Yeah, because 6'6", that's the tallest guy on our O-line, right?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So, I mean, going over the middle, hopefully he's not hitting Ethan Pocic in the helmet. We'll see. By the way, over 100 people watching live right now. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming through to this episode 426 of the Purple Rain podcast. We cover all things Baltimore Ravens. Be sure to like the video, and if you are new, please consider hitting that subscribe button because the season is right around the corner, and we've got plenty more content where this came from. All right. So that is that on our guy, Ethan Pocic. Now, another thing I wanted to show you, Alex, I actually covered this last night on Quiet Storm Sports, but I had to get your opinion on it. Okay, I had to get your opinion.
I know what it's gonna be.
I know you know what it's gonna be. I know you know what it's gonna be.
I see it.
But I gotta do it. I have to do it. John Harbaugh, everybody.
Here, you excited?
Yes, sir. Yeah, a
little nervous?
Nope.
Huh? No nervous? A little nervous, man. Nervous? Excited nervous, you know? Nervous like you're full of game almost, man. So give this thing kick off. Standing up here in front of the New York Giants. The New York Giants.
Don't repeat it, Harbs, please.
This is a New York Giants sitting in this room.
Damn.
The New York Giants. Wow, it's an honor. It's an honor to stand in front of this room right now. And I know those coaches back there feel the same way, right, coaches? Sir, it's an honor, man. We've been working, haven't we? We've been working early and we're late getting ready for today. Today. Sitting in this chair, this seat, getting to work, getting started, our beginning. Because this is where it all begins, together.
All right, so that was John Harbaugh, newest Giants head coach. Alex, what did you think of that?
I got to take that and put outstanding by the Gap band behind it because I just can see it now. Like, this is going to be like the wash. Like, you pointed the coaches. Matt Nagy is your OC.
Yeah.
With all due respect, who is excited to play for Matt Nagy's offense in 2026?
Not a soul.
We're the New York Giants. Like, add the New York Football Giants. Give me something. And it's just repeating it 3 times and no reaction. That gets like a 10-year-old Pee-wee soccer team hype. Who are we? And they all scream. This is a national football team. The rah-rah gimmicks got to go, John. Speaking of John, real quick, why has Instagram put his Instagram page on mine? They're like pushing John Harbaugh's page to me. I don't want to follow him. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see John Harbaugh anymore. Thank you.
Oh, my God.
I don't need to see it. It's like a jump scare. I saw him. I was like, but this was a very bad look for him. And I think lots of people talked about this and had similar opinions. I don't know how this ends well for them. This is the most obvious 1 season or 2 seasons and done failure, and they are eating a lot of money. The Giants' coach is inspiring. I know Cam Scatterboo had nothing but just like Family Guy reels in his head playing at this time. Like, there's nothing going on in the head of his. Yeah, John Harbaugh. Yeah, good luck. Good luck.
Maybe he's gonna outsource some of the motivating duties of the team to Cam Scatterboo. Because obviously that's a guy who can get the crowd hype. I mean, he's a guy. That dude should be in the WWE. I think we talked about that on Monday. But I truly believe that. I think he has a future in that if football doesn't end up working out for him. But no, John Harbaugh, he definitely got left on red by his roster here. You know, they were just kind of like non-responsive to pretty much anything he was saying. And I was saying this on the pod yesterday, Alex. I was saying that it felt like John Harbaugh was trying to prove something more to himself. You know, He was trying to hype himself up, trying to psych himself up. And I kind of get, like, bro, he spent the last 18 years of his life at one job, right? Like going through the same process, off-season process, ramping up to the season, like everything was the same in Baltimore for 18 straight seasons. So now that he's actually here in the building with his new team, in his new colors, right? He's probably like, wow, I'm kind of taking this all in right now. So from that perspective, I get it. But again, like I said last night as well, it doesn't make it any less funny because like he just literally no reaction. And it seems like right now the Giants, for whatever reason, on a week-to-week basis, they're like a laughing stock for like whatever like some of the coaches, some of the players are doing. It's hilarious. But it goes to show how that New York media, they are in the limelight. And I hope John is ready.
Especially with that starting lineup they have. We talk about the Ravens couple of games. We've talked about the Giants start of the season schedule. It is a gauntlet. Like, they'll be lucky to get 2 to 3 wins the first 8 weeks. Like, you'd be staring down the barrel at 1-5 again, John, without Lamar Jackson coming back to save you, without a bunch of talented guys coming off the IR. What are you going to do?
Imagine the narratives if they started off 1-5. If John Harbaugh had 2 back-to-back seasons starting off 1-5, one with the Ravens and then one with the Giants, and now who's the common denominator? Hey. I don't wish it on the guy, but it's a possibility, man. I'm just saying.
Cowboys, Giants, week 1. Giants, Rams, week 2.
Exactly.
Giants, Titans, week 3. Giants, Cardinals, week 4. Giants, Commanders, week 5. Saints, Giants, week 6.
Saints might knock them off. That'll be a good game. I think the Commanders, as long as Jaden Daniels stays healthy, I think he should be good. Real quick, I don't want to go too much on a tangent. Did you watch the quarterback series on Netflix yet?
I have not. No, I really should. I've seen Cam Ward's clips and Joe Flacco's clips.
Yeah, man, you got to watch it. Joe Flacco is I love Joe Flacco even more now than I did before.
Okay.
After watching that. Cam Ward, I was talking with Coach about it the other day. He said that Cam Ward was the star of the show because, it was Cam, Joe, Flacco. It was Jaden Daniels and Baker Mayfield. Mm-hmm. And after completing the series, I think I got to agree with Coach. Cam Ward was very compelling, especially like towards the end and stuff because, the Titans had a terrible season last year, like a terrible year. And like for him to just be so kind of like not let it get him down, still coming back and fighting every week and things like that, still being himself. Like Cam Ward is that dude, and I expect him to take a step forward. It's just that the Titans, it's going to be slow progress. Slow progress doesn't mean it's better than no progress, but it's going to be slow progress there. So, but yeah, no, Jaden Daniels was good in it too. His story was up and down because he was hurt. He was banged up pretty much like all season here and there. But Flacco's, man, you just like, and you get like they I don't know how they did it, Alex, but like it starts off the season where he's in Cleveland, but then like halfway through the season, it's like he gets traded to the Bengals, and that whole thing, you got to watch it, man. You got to watch it.
Okay, that Thursday night game against the Steelers.
Oh yeah, big part of it. Yeah, you got to watch it, man.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so that was John Harbaugh, and also my little spiel on Netflix's quarterback. Outside of that, Alex, we did have a Ravens Wired that dropped yesterday, and I do want to bring up a clip that was going around from said Ravens Wired about Ravens offensive coordinator Declan Doyle, if I can find it in here. Oh, here it is. There we go. All right, let's see. Declan Doyle, the human computer, what they're calling him.
Good, Tess. Here we go. Good. I like it. Here we go.
The offense is going to be fire, though.
Yeah, is there a defining trait of Declan that you notice real quick from being around him? Something that kind of stands out?
He got the same mentality as us.
I feel like our coaches is like one of us in a sense.
It's easier to relate to him because we could talk like we friends, what he expect of me and what he expect of us. So it's easier to communicate in that way.
He's been awesome. First and foremost as a teacher, I think is the main thing that kind of, sticks out is he's incredibly good at teaching this offense and really, understands it from every different aspect of it.
Yeah. I mean, we learn.
You guys learn. Yeah, you guys learn them. All right, let's go.
He teach you in a certain way where you remember the plays where there's not too much stress on you, but he give you a lot.
Rasheen, a little more with your shoulders, that first step. Like that first step should look like I'm running wide zone to the linebacker. Yeah, you're just a little square here. Okay, you took the first step, but just a little turn, and then I'm crossover roll and downhill. Does that make sense?
He was able to, kind of dive into each position group.
Yeah, you're taking an angle at the butt of this guy to cut him out. These will all be on one, okay? On one. Whole point is that they're jumping your cadence, okay? And we're trying to pry the defense open. So, Tank, what could you do better right here? Hit a better landmark. We're trying to stretch this thing on the front side, right? Once you hand that thing, I know he's a little wide, okay? Once you hand that thing, try to stick that right foot in the ground and go make the turn. I know that he's wide right there. I got it.
Super smart. He loves the game of football, and he's a really good leader as well.
Oh, he's a genius. He got stuff that I've never seen.
Sometimes he see things that I don't see, you know. Sometimes I see things that he might have not thought of, you know, just great. And I feel like we need that.
We know all the plays now. You got it. All right, let's be as detailed as we possibly can be right here.
I think the thing that, Coach Declan's trying to get us to accomplish is that details matter, and I think it's super important.
His creativity with his mind and how detailed he is, it's like mind-blowing.
Focus on the details and, good things will happen. I think that the more attention you can, pay attention to stuff like that, you're going to be a system that's going to be hard to fail.
I want to be detailed as well, keep the defense honest. So we doing everything right, the little things right. Defense don't know what we're doing, what we're capable of on offense any given play. And with the type of coach that Declan is bringing, that I believe he's bringing, like the sky's the limit.
He's got to snap you faster than that,
Yeah.
so you don't get buried in there. Does that make sense? So all it's going to feel like, you're running a shallow. You're going to be a little steeper than normal, and you're going to get that dude to run. You'll feel when he starts to play over the top.
Yeah.
You're running it off of a dude.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Boom. What you say, Coach? Oh, yeah.
Love that. Love that. So you saw there firsthand, Alex, how Declan Doyle is moving with this offense. What are your thoughts?
It feels like a trailer on why you should hire him as a head coach already. And he hasn't even coached a game yet for the Ravens, the OC. Just hearing how, I don't want to say locked in he is, but how close he is with the players. Like, the fact that this trust is there, and he's been here for how many months? It's, Cam, thank you for the 30 joules. Appreciate that. It's, even with Rasheen Ali, just the small things really mattering, and he's sticking to his word. Even the way that, like, the foot's planted. And, some coaches could be like, well, there's this that we have to worry about, but Declan goes right to that, and I liked it a lot, and he's a man of his word. And I'm glad, the players are talking about it, but now we just got to see it in the game. And I pray, we'll get into what our next topic is, but I just pray we get through this healthy. Because I want to see this offense on all cylinders come week one. Lamar, Zay, Mark, Bate, the whole line, Derrick Henry, Randall, all those guys. Like, I want to see, what the true, just the limit is. I don't think there could be. It's got to be the limit. I just don't know how good this offense can be, and I'm excited for it. I think we haven't felt this way probably since Tom Monken's first year. New OC, but this is completely different. We've never had this before. A young guy, and we kind of harped on that. Like, maybe a young guy like him to relate to the players. There you go. Zay and Lamar just said it. They can talk to him differently because he's like one of them. We've been saying that for how long have we wanting a type of guy like this?
Yeah, I mean, because collaboration, I think, works the best when you have somebody who you can level with, somebody who you feel like you can relate to. So we'll see what that collaboration breeds. I think it's going to breed a very, very productive and explosive, much like everybody has been saying, offense. So I can't wait to see it. By the way, Mike, thank you for the jewels you just sent. We appreciate that. But the thing that I see, Alex, mostly when I look at clips like this from the Ravens Wired last night is that Declan Doyle, and you kind of like hinted at it, like the attention to detail is one thing, but just you can tell like the excitement that he has for it. You can tell like he's giving like first day of school type energy. You know what I mean? Like he's excited to be there. He wants to be there, as opposed to Todd Monken, been coaching for years, right? Like I'm in my 60s. I've got other things that I'm worried about in life. Football is just my job. But like Declan Doyle, football is still his passion. I believe that, and he's treating this like his passion project. And I think that that's going to bode well for this offense. And I cannot, again, man, couple more weeks. I cannot wait to see it. Let me know if you guys agree in the chat. Now, what did you have anything else for me on that?
Declan Doyle has his clothes laid out on his bed right next to him.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
Bingo.
like he's like, I'm getting out, taking a shower, eating breakfast, getting my clothes, going to the facility. I can see it. Yeah, this is his first he's an OC, but his first real gig. Like he has the keys. Maybe they kind of he's in the passenger seat just watching Ben Johnson, but now it's like you got Lamar, you got this guy, that guy. How could you not be excited?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Afia says in the chat, Todd is like, take me or leave me. Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, they say can't teach an old dog new tricks. No. And I think that he's kind of like the, embodiment of that. Kwame says the blinders and tunnel vision analogy. Did you see that part?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was talking
That was a
about
really good one.
the horses, the race horses and stuff, how they wear the goggles or whatnot, so they have tunnel vision. They can only see what's right in front of them. Kind of I call it a Declan analogy, right? I expect there to be a lot more of those in the future. But that was fire, though. That was fire. And I think that the players really took a hold of it. So love that from him. Also, a lot of people have been saying, Declan Doyle, he's probably going to end up being like a rental for us, right? We're going to have him year 2 max, right? Especially, because all it's going to take at the end of the day, we're just being real with ourselves, Alex. If Lamar Jackson is just Lamar Jackson and healthy for one good season, Doyle's gone. Yep. He's out of here. Okay. And we expect that to happen this year if he can stay healthy, Lamar Jackson, that is, knock on wood. And he'll be out of here, but we gotta enjoy it and take full advantage while we can. And I think we will.
That's a really good point. We have to enjoy it every game, live in the moment, and it's different, compared to the Roman and Munkins because they've been around the league. I think you knew they could get you to somewhere, but how far can they get you? There's this thing with Doyle. It's like if you make him the head coach, like a Ben Johnson, like the Bears were a laughingstock for how many years? They made the playoffs, like they would barely squeak by, but at the end of the day, you knew the Bears weren't going to win a Super Bowl, with the teams they had. Now it's like they got Caleb who can, sky's the limit. You have a good roster, good coach. Doyle comes from that tree. Only thing we can hope is, hopefully win the Super Bowl. Yeah. But let's just hope that the teams that are looking for a head coach, they aren't desirable positions. Unfortunately, with Mike McDonald, the Seahawks, they had a good roster. They were able to, give you the 12th man, the whole stadium. He knew they get a good quarterback. They got JSN. They had I think DK at that time as well, and they had a defense you can build around. But I think Doyle, he'll probably be a one and done. I hope not. I really hope not, Declan. But just enjoy every game, every moment, because we couldn't. Next year we might not have Declan Doyle at OC. It could be somebody else, and no more Doyleisms or Declanisms.
Yeah. Declanisms. I like that. Declanologies, Declanisms. I love it. We got to coin that. All right. Let's go ahead and move into our next topic. Let's talk about the head coach. And let's talk about the head coach talking about the quarterback. So the Lounge podcast just had Jesse Minter on their couch, and they talked to him about a couple of things. But one interesting tidbit of information that came from this, and something that I kind of been speculating over the past couple of weeks, was not Declan Doyle, but Jesse Minter being asked about Lamar being placed 69th on the top 100. Let's take a listen.
I don't know if you noticed the NFL top 100 list.
I saw that. There may not even be one other player in the league better than Lamar, yet alone 68 players in the league better than Lamar. I don't think he worries about that. I think he wants to win. I think he wants to win big. This guy is a multi-MVP winner, has transcended the quarterback position. So he knows how I feel about him. Guess I don't put too much stock into what the list looks like. I did text him about it, and kind of had an interesting back and forth about it.
That's
between
funny.
Him and I. I look at all the guys. Zay Flowers, I think he's going to shoot himself way up there this year.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Hamilton. Those three guys we wouldn't trade for anybody.
All right. So, Alex, you hear that from Jesse Minter saying that I think the biggest thing you take from that, he said, hey, look, I saw that they put him at 69th on the list. And I texted him. I reached out to him. And he said they had an interesting conversation, a quote unquote interesting conversation back and forth about that. I think that's huge, number one, because that's what needs to happen. Okay. You need to have a coach who sees the noise, sees the scrutiny that his star player is under, and he reaches out to him and says, hey, look, I'm in your corner. It's us. You know what I mean? When I see people throwing shots at you, it hits me a certain way. So that's why I'm reaching out to you so we can kind of talk about this. I love that. What do you think?
I mean, this just kind of gives me Brian Billick vibes in the fact in the 2000s when we beat the Titans, he was turn the cameras off, fuck the Titans, because they never lost a game at home. And the Ravens went into their home and they gave them their first L at home. Jesse Minter gives me that vibe. He's going to take that shit personally, part of my language. He'll take the disrespect of his players personally. He knows how good they are. He said it, Lamar, are we sure there's any one player better than him? I don't think so. It's funny how Kyle Hamilton get ranked the top safety in the league. But 63rd overall? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he sees it. And, you shouldn't need, bulletin board material to win you games in the NFL. You're a professional. But as an added juice, I'm never going to say no to it. I'm never going to say no to something like this. And the fact they see this and it's only July, come September, it'll be an afterthought, but that's what will make these practices, make us better. Because the time's like right now. So I love it. I'm glad, he has that the communication, knowing that they're in contact. If you text him over something like that, I wonder what else you're texting about. What does that iMessage back and forth look like? And who's to know if Lamar and John had that? Obviously, I'm looking deep into it, but yeah, it's interesting to hear that just so early. But I love it. I do love it.
John Harbaugh strikes me as the type of guy who, like, if there's like media narratives out there or something like that, he'll just kind of let it float in the air and just like, not talk to Lamar about it. Or maybe he did. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but just based off of like, because every time Harbaugh was asked about things like that, he would just kind of just brush it off like he just didn't give a damn, So I don't know. But I love the fact that Jesse Minter is doing this with Lamar Jackson. I do. And just like Lamar posted earlier, like, I mean, he's going to find everybody. He's going to get everybody, who was talking that shit all off season. So
I'm just imagining John and Lamar's iMessage. Like, Lamar's probably, "Hey, coach, can we talk?" And it's like, "Yeah." And it's like, Lamar like isn't happy, and just John responds back with like a Bitmoji made of him. Like, that's all I'm imagining, John, like that old just like texter. Like, that's what I just imagine. It's like, Coach, he made it look like himself with the glasses on. It's just a thumbs up.
Coach, we really need to meet. I got some things in my mind. I'm anxious going into this playoff game. Thumbs up. Next day, yeah, Coach. I mean, yeah, Lamar, I saw you wanted to meet. What's up? It's like total miscommunication. Yeah. I can see it. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah. So again, it just speaks to how much it's a benefit to having coaches who are closer in age, closer in generation to their players, because they can actually relate to each other at least a little bit more. All right. So that was good old Jesse Minter. What else do we have in this episode? Oh, one more thing we had to cover. You had not Ravens related, but NFL related. You had Panthers outside linebacker Nic Scourton suffering a torn ACL in day 1 of training camp and will miss the entire 2026 season. Nic Scourton was Carolina's second-round pick in 2025 and had 5 sacks as a rookie. He was poised for a big season opposite Jalen Phillips, man. That sucks.
That's why you go and get Jalen Phillips. You can have a young guy, opposite of him, like Trey Hendrickson and Mike Green, feed off of him at day 1. Day freaking 1? Are you kidding me?
That's so insane, bro. It gives me like flashbacks of like what happened that one year. You remember?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And like, that just sucks the wind out of the practice. Excuse me. It's not Bryce Young, obviously. It's not Jalen Phillips. It's not Tep. But it's a guy that could have had that breakout season. 5 sacks as a rookie. That's freaking good. And then probably dreaming of double-digit sacks this year alongside a guy like Jalen Phillips, man. That just prayers up to him. Hopefully, this modern medicine, man, who knows how quick he can be back. But I feel for the young man right now. That is awful.
I do as well. Good news is for Nic Scourton, he's only 21. He's only 21 years old, so I think he's got some time. If he can heal up from this, 21-year-old for an ACL who, listen, the sports medicine industry has been dealing with ACLs forever, right? I think that he should be able to get back to full strength. I'm praying for a full recovery. Prayers up to him, his family, who are going through a tough time right now. But I expect him to make a full recovery, and that's what I'm praying and hoping for. But yeah, okay. Let me see what you guys are saying here in the chat. What's the dude of the name that spit on Dak? Oh yeah, Jalen Carter.
Yeah, Jalen Carter. Before the first play of the year.
Yeah.
We should have known it was gonna be weird last year. Before the first ball was snapped, somebody got ejected.
Yeah.
That was such a weird
That was
game.
crazy. That was crazy. And they didn't even suspend him for the following game, Jalen Carter. I think they just gave him like time served for that one
They're
game.
like, oh, because he missed the
didn't
first
play.
no. That's I didn't like
Yeah,
that.
that was crazy. But then you also did see the replay. Dak Prescott spit first. He spit at him
True.
first.
True.
So it was like, it was kind of like a sticky situation. No pun intended. Anywho, Alex, I think we got through pretty much everything on this episode. Did we miss anything?
I think we hit everything. Nothing else other sports wise.
Oh, you know what? One, I do have to bring up something here. Some questions.
Okay, questions.
Yeah, there's
While you're
some
talking
questions.
about that,
Yeah.
you saw the Miami Heat leaked a LeBron press conference. And
Oh,
they had to,
yeah.
backtrack.
Yeah, I heard about that earlier this week. So apparently the media team for the Miami Heat, they, according to them, made a link in preparation for just in case LeBron James decided to sign with the Miami Heat. They'll have that live stream link ready to go. And it's like, that's not how things work.
No.
You don't have to have a YouTube link ready to go days. Like all it takes is just typing it, because listen, we do it all the time here at BRP. I mean, all you gotta do is type in the title of the video and that's it. So unless you knew something, then I don't see why you would do that. What did you think though?
I was, expecting that they got hacked. I was hoping for that, but no, it didn't happen. Yeah, you can private or unlist something. To make it public, there is a process you have to go through. You have to type or press a couple of buttons. You have to press the visibility, public, and then save. That's 3 buttons you have to press for something like that to go out to your viewers. So whoever did it, don't know if you're being funny, don't know how this happened, but that's just a very bad blunder on their behalf.
Yeah, I never believe the people who say like, "Oh, I posted this on accident," or "I went live on accident." Like, remember when the Shannon Sharp thing happened? Like, come on, man, bullshit. It takes so much.
Right,
oh yeah, I mean Rashad Bateman too. Like, come on, bro, you weren't hacked. You weren't hacked, big dog. Come on, I know it was a bad season, right? I know it was a rough season. Bait, it's all good. It's all good, man. You can voice your frustrations. It's all right, man. Speaking of Bateman, I do have some questions here from the subscribers, Alex. So weekly now, there will be a post posted on the YouTube channel, Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel, that will basically be a questions box where you can go in there, you can submit questions, then we'll bring them up on the next main pod. So we have a couple questions here in this comment box. So this first one's coming from Dalton Young 07. It says, "You can't say there is nothing Bateman can't do, but then say he isn't a veteran. If he can do everything, he can be the veteran presence in the room. D-Hop is not needed." Okay. So I guess he's saying this in response to me saying that I would like for the Ravens to go ahead and sign DeAndre Hopkins, because Rashad Bateman, who's going into year 5, year 6, he should be the veteran now, along with Zay Flowers as well. And I understand that. I do. But I think that while Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman are basically focusing on being the front-facing superheroes, like the flagship pass catchers on this team, maybe you have a DeAndre Hopkins on the back end who's kind of ushering in Jacoby Lane and Elijah Surratt on how to play and how to be a pro, things like that. And let Bateman and Zay focus on actually being the talent, because we're going to need all the talent we can get and the focus we can get from our top end pass catchers. That's me. I still do think if the Ravens do go into the season with the receiving core they have right now, I got no problem with it. I just think ideally you can add on a D-Hop and you won't see diminishing returns for much of the other guys, especially with this new coaching staff who's good with spreading it around and target share and things like that. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you had to place a bet on what receiver would get signed, I think the safe bet is D-Hop. Just because of the familiarity, I think he was well liked. And much like we saw Calais Campbell do in The Wire last night, maybe we talked about it before we went live, he was just like a player coach. And I think D-Hop already put that tweet out there about Jacoby Lane. Like, he has it all to be a good receiver. DeAndre, how about you share some of that wisdom over here back in Baltimore? And I think it's probably the safest and the smartest receiver to pick up, I'd say. You wouldn't get that drama that Diggs will bring you. Wouldn't be getting the productivity, but should be getting the intangibles, much like the wisdom, the knowledge, stuff you can't teach. And D-Hop's seen it all, done it all, except win a ring. You know, could happen here if you want to come back.
Yeah.
But I'd be for it.
And then what we saw in the Wired episode, I mean, Zay Flowers is really emerging as a leader, you know? Jesse Minter talked about that in his lounge interview, but you definitely saw it in the Wired. And apologies if you just mentioned that and I missed it, Alex, but
you're good.
No, Zay Flowers definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's right.
I mean, I don't want to keep going about this Wired thing. So we have 4 captains right now. Please bring back the captain patches. I know it's so minimal, but Lamar, Mark, Roquan, and Kyle, put those captain patches on them. I love it. I think it's just a small piece of the uniform, but it adds so much pop to it.
Yeah, it would make those next flight jerseys pop a lot more, especially like the all white ones. Can you imagine? Oh, that'd be so sweet.
With a little purple.
Yeah, purple C. Oh yeah, that'd be. Oh man, that'd be sick. Let me see here. Justin Lewis in the chat says, "What's up, Sutton? And Simply as 10. I just turned 44 years old yesterday. Shout out to you, Justin.
Happy birthday.
Clap it up for Justin. Happy birthday to you, brother.
Hell yeah.
Hope you're celebrating. Absolutely. Okay. Smitty says, I don't like how D-Hop was twerking for Burrow when free agency started.
he was twerking for the Bills, too. He just wants to get signed, unfortunately.
Yeah, he wanted to get signed. He wanted to get signed, man. You can't blame him. He wants to play football. Anyways, back to these questions. Second question. This one is coming from longtime viewer and ReignGang member, Asmodeus. Shout out to Asmodeus. He says, what is your favorite sandwich? What is your favorite sandwich?
I mean, I'll go with. I mean, I know I'll say mine, and it's probably so basic, but
okay.
When you're sick, and this is memories of either mom or my dad cooking up nice grilled cheese. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like when you're sick, nothing's better. Nothing.
With some soup on the side too.
Some tomato soup.
For sure.
That's the medicine right there.
That's a good one. I mean, favorite sandwich. I mean, I'd probably go, to be honest with you, I'm gonna go with a peanut butter and jelly. I'm gonna go with a classic. You know what I'm saying? It just never did me wrong. There's so many times that like I was hungry and didn't have nothing to eat or no time to make anything else. And like all I had was just 2 slices of bread, some peanut butter and some jelly. And I just tossed it all together and just, you know what I mean? I mean, hell, I had an Uncrustable earlier today. Ain't no shame in my game. My girl buys them all the time as these like little quick, like walk around snacks and stuff like that. And I still eat them. Peanut butter and jelly is goated, right?
Yep.
Been eating it since I was knee high, probably since before I was a Ravens fan, which was very, very young. But yeah. So let me see here what you guys are saying in the chat. PB&J never lost. No. Never. Smitty says dipping the grilled cheese in the tomato soup. Now, if grilled cheese meets PB&J at the top of the bracket, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But I gotta go with PB&J. You want to know why? Because it doesn't need an accessory.
That is true.
I'd have to say that. It's close.
But
I gotta go PB&J. All right. Let me see. What's the next question? This one's also from Asmodeus. I think this one is really easy. Who will be the starting center? I think it's a general Ethan Pocic. He's going to be the starting center, or at least we hope. We think it's his job to lose. We'll see throughout next week, or especially when they put the pads on, who's really emerging as the best guy. But as of right now, it's definitely got to be Ethan Pocic. Let me see. Next one here. This one's coming from our guy Void, another member of the channel. Void says Zay Flowers' drop percentage on 117 targets is 4.2%. Mark Andrews' drop rate on 70 targets was 4.2%. D-Hop's drop rate on 39 targets was 2.5%. And Bateman's drop rate on 35 targets was 8.5%. He says, so my question is, how can you vouch for Bateman at wide receiver 2 to have more targets despite his drop rate being double that of Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and nearly triple what D-Hop's was in this past year? There is no way we can claim he deserves more targets when assuming we remain consistent and double his receptions, yards, touchdowns, drops, etc. He would still be a wide receiver 3 statistically. Not exactly fair to blame drops on the O-line either. A drop is either a lack of focus or skill. All right. So another age-old Bateman question, Alex. Just asking me about, we're cherry picking stats about Bateman's drop percentage and whatnot off of 2 targets a game last year. All right. Cool. All I'll say is this. We can cherry pick numbers and certain metrics and things like that for pretty much any skill player. Ones that we feel really good about, ones that we don't feel good about, to make whatever narrative we want to make, right? Void, I don't know if Void's here or listening, but if you're listening, Void, all I'm asking is for Rashad Bateman to be afforded the grace that we're also affording guys like Marlon Humphrey, Roquan Smith, who we're also critical of, but we're not tearing down like, oh, this guy needs to be dropped down the totem pole on, you need to bench this guy. You need to get this guy. He doesn't need to be in the 3 wide receiver sets, stuff like that. Like, no, Rashad Bateman has earned his keep on this team. However you want to slice it, he's earned his keep. Why? Because he's shown that he can run every route in the book. He can make contested catches. He's got a good frame. He's got great speed. And on his best days, he can be a very dominant receiver. It's just about giving him the opportunities to do so, and then also scheming him up to be able to do so as well. And I think that this offensive line this year and this coaching staff, the merriment of those two, will allow Rashad Bateman to do so. So that's all I'm saying when it comes to Bateman, man. That's all I'm saying. Just give him a chance. Anywho, last question here is also from Esmodius. He simply says, Xbox or PlayStation?
This is a tough question because I was a 360 kid and I'm a PS4, PS5 guy. That's just the way I went. I can't pick one. I had both, but the memories I had on the 360 are probably some of my greatest. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going with nostalgia for you, I guess Xbox would be the way to go. See, I had I kind of flip-flop back and forth, Alex. I had a PlayStation, the original PlayStation, and then I had the original Xbox, and then I had the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3. I never had the 360. And then I got the PS4 and 5. So basically after the PS2, I didn't get any more Xbox. And I stuck with Sony, but I did have the original Xbox though.
I'm changing my mind. I had the PS1, PS2, and the PSP.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm never
yeah.
See.
Yeah.
You got to bring that back. That was ahead of its time.
It was, but like, was it though? Because who's carrying around a PSP when you have an iPhone to carry around?
That's true. But I remember those field trips as a kid on the bus.
Oh, undefeated.
PSP.
Oh,
SmackDown
undefeated.
versus Raw. Madden.
Yeah, for sure. Shoot, I used to play SmackDown versus Raw. I had Madden on there. I had NBA Live on there.
NBA Live.
Hell.
Live, yes.
I think I even had I had The Sims on there. I had all sorts of
Ratchet
stuff.
And Clank.
I think I had that one too. I had all sorts of stuff. I got to go back and really look at all my Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, I had a lot, all sorts of games on there. But no, I got to go PlayStation.
Yeah, I think I'm switching it. I'm switching
just
it.
like
PS2.
all the consoles, the legendary consoles, all the legendary classic exclusives that they had on there. Legendary.
I have one more thing before we get out of here. I don't know if you saw the clip of, I think it was Kobe Bryant from the Falcons and somebody else debating the whole Lamar Bo Nix, who do you want game on the line? Kobe Bryant from the Falcons hates Lamar for some reason. It got so bad they called up Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman was defending Lamar with his life over this question. Lamar Bo. I'll have to send you the clip, but I don't know if you've seen it. It got heated between the two. But yeah, this is the same Kobe Bryant. I think when we lost the Bills, he posted a picture of Lamar as James Harden with the AI stuff. Kobe Bryant's been a little weird towards Lamar for about 2 years now. I don't know what's going on there, but he better be on the field come week 4 against Atlanta. I want to see him because he's doing a whole lot of this.
Yeah,
you see him on the field with number 8.
That's interesting. I guess because Bo Nix had a bunch of comeback games last season, that narrative is now kind of being peddled by a lot of people nationally. Because I've heard people say that before too. That was one of the reasons why Colin Cowherd put Bo Nix, I believe he put Bo Nix in his top 10, but left Lamar Jackson off of it. Or one reason that he might have justified Bo Nix being ahead of Lamar on the top 100 list, something like that. But I think it's just so I think the most frustrating thing about being a Lamar Jackson fan, not even a Ravens fan, but a Lamar Jackson fan, is that he has to update his resume way more frequently than any other quarterback in the league. And you know what that does for us fans? It infuriates us because we have to like fight tooth and nail that much harder and that much more consistently, like defending our quarterback online, defending him, at work and things like that. Because like if the last game that people witnessed from Lamar Jackson was him losing, even if it wasn't even necessarily his fault per se, it's going to be, oh, well, he fell short here and he's not that good because he should be ranked here because of that. And he's fallen off. But it's like, I always go back to guys like Josh Allen. Josh Allen, who's also never sniffed a Super Bowl. His last performance, he turned in a 4 turnover game. Could have been 5 if he wouldn't have recovered one of the fumbles, right? Yet he's like number 1 in pretty much every list. He's going to be number 1 in the top 100 lists for the NFL players, or maybe he's number 2 behind Myles Garrett. I don't know, but he's going to be top 2, maybe not 2. And when it comes to Bo Nix and some of these younger guys, Drake May even, I think that they see 1 or 2 good seasons and everybody's ready to buy up all the stock in them. And that looks like dumping their Lamar stock first for some reason. But again, this is why I keep saying, Alex, the Ravens are about to hurt a whole lot of feelings this year. Because I don't want to hear shit when Lamar Jackson comes out there and through 3 weeks, much like last season, through 3 weeks, he's the best quarterback in football. Because we forget, before he got hurt last year, through 3 weeks, he had the most touchdowns out of anybody in the league. Mm-hmm. Highest QBR, highest yards per pass. He was dominating. But people forget, again, he has to update his resume way more frequently than anybody else.
And you bring up the young quarterbacks. Hell, it was halfway into Jaden Daniels, who we both like, his rookie season, and they were saying who's a better passer. I won't forget that. I think it was Ryan Clark and ESPN. Like we were about to play them week 6, and like, who would you take right now, Jaden or Lamar? Guy was like 6 games into his NFL career, and they're saying, they're making those comparisons. I don't see that for any other quarterback. And yeah, it was Kobe Bryant was debating with Keon Coleman and Cleveland Browns' Alex Wright about who's better in the clutch, Lamar or Bo. And then Kobe Bryant posted this on May 28th, 2025, just out of nowhere. You can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Unprovoked posted that, and now you have this.
Good.
There's something really weird, with him. And like I said, you better be on the field when the Ravens and Falcons play, because
he should
your
be.
Your ankles will probably get left out there.
And Lamar's and targeting him all game. He's going right at him. He's not our cornerback 1, is he?
Oh, he was a UDFA. Let me check the Falcons depth chart real quick, because this is now circled on the calendar for me. This is going to be a generational hate watch. He is a 3rd string defensive back.
Okay, so he's gonna get some playing time. You can get some playing time, right?
I mean, if they're getting blown out, he's behind AJ Terrell, he's behind Mike Hughes, Avion Terrell, Clark Phillips. I mean, he's like cornerback 5 or 6.
Yeah. If he does get on the field,
like starters.
I'm about to say, yeah. If he doesn't get on the field, then like, why are you writing checks that your teammates are gonna have to cash? Right.
Yeah.
Like, just like, shut the fuck up. I don't know. Void with the $5 super chat donation here. Thank you so much, Void. Void says, shout out to the bait hate bros in the book. Come join us. Shout out to Ace 2. I get the feeling he hates bait too, but just can't prove it. Oh no, my dog, he does not hate Rashad Bateman. There's no Rashad Batemans. Yeah, there's no Rashad Bateman haters who live under my roof. There's none. Okay, and I've asked him about this before. He's confirmed with me he is a Bate supporter, much like his father. Okay, but anywho, thank you so much, Void, for the super chat donation, and we're gonna see going into this season exactly what happens with Rashad Bateman, man. We're gonna see. I can't wait. But I think that's pretty much all we got here on this episode 426 of the Purple Rain podcast, guys. Thank y'all so much for coming through to this one. We have made it. I'll say that. We have made it. Start spreading the news. Football is back. Okay, so training camp starts tomorrow. I will be live tomorrow for Quiet Storm Sports, covering all things, and I mean all things, all news that comes out of tomorrow's training camp, where the rookies, quarterbacks, and hurt veterans will report. So make sure you stay locked into the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel for that. And you can do that by hitting that subscribe button. Also, by hitting that notification bell down beneath the video. Replay gang, you know what I need you to do. Like the video, hype the video, and comment your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, whatever you got. Make sure you do that for us. We appreciate y'all. Like Afia says, we bike. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And I can't wait. Monday, we'll be back for the main pod, breaking down all things training camp. So make sure you tune in with us. But with that being said, Alex, go ahead and take us on out of here.
Thank you for coming through to episode 426 of the Purple Rain Podcast. We love you. We appreciate you. And as always, stay positive and test negative.
Yes, yes, yes. And never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God and may purple rain.